Hi, my name is Jamie Viramontes. I grew up in a small town called Moriarty, New Mexico, and I work as a senior customer success manager for a company called Conservis Ag, which is a farm management software company. And it's a remote position, but the company is based out of Minneapolis. So right now, my main responsibilities are bringing on, once customers have signed a contract, I help them get their data into the system and learn how to use the software. And so the software that we have is a farm management software system where they can track all of their activities on their farm, from planting all the way through growing and harvest. So I have to have very good personal skills and leadership skills to be able to get into conversations with farmers and really help them feel comfortable with sharing their information with me. We also have to use a lot of CRMs, which is like a customer resource management base, so that we can make sure that we're tracking that we're progressing with our customers correctly. A lot of surveys to make sure that they're happy and that they're comfortable using our system, as well as a lot of training tools. A remote position was actually perfect for me. We live in a rural area, so there's not a lot of office jobs available. And I love that we live on my husband's third generation family farm, but there wasn't a lot of opportunities. So when I found this remote position, it was perfect because I get to stay home. I get to go out on in between my meetings, I can go for a walk on the farm and check on the crops, see what the progress looks like. I also have two young children, and so when they come home from school, I'm here and available for them. And so it's just a great fit. But then the beautiful thing is that we've gotten to a point with our technology to where I don't feel secluded either. I talk to people all day long and I'm conversing with customers as well as with my teammates, and so it's just a very comfortable setting still. I highly recommend remote work. I've loved it and really enjoyed it. So I graduated with my degree in agriculture, business, and economics in 2011. I graduated in May, and my husband and I were married in November. And I immediately started working for the family farm. So I was the main person who had to set up our food safety database for our farming operation. So food safety is a very big concern for consumers right now, and especially particularly in the vegetable industry. And so that was becoming a trend. It was this global gap certification, but it was primarily in large scale family farms, and they had just started bringing that process down to the smaller family operations. So um, for my husband's farm, we had to develop that food safety program, which entails you tracking your trainings and what your inputs are within like your fertilizers and any type of inputs like that, as well as making sure that you have safe water that you're applying to your crops for irrigation. So it's a really long process, and it's actually a pretty stringent audit process. They come out twice a year, and they make sure that you're following all the correct guidelines and that everyone's following the correct protocols. So I began with that, and then from there, I decided that since our kids were so small, that was like really, really long hours. Sometimes I was there till 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and it just wasn't the best fit, especially because it's the same time that all of our farmers are really busy. So my husband was out working late, and it just wasn't the right fit for our family. So I started looking and actually found my job through LinkedIn. And it was kind of a funny story because we had met with this same software company looking to implement it into our farm. And so I had met a couple of the sales representatives already, and I reached out and said, I've been looking for a new job. We never did purchase the software, but I remained in touch with them, and so they helped me secure the position. And I've really enjoyed it so far. I definitely draw from a lot of my extracurricular activities. Those taught me not just the basics of education, but also leadership skills personal skills, interview skills. I was very active in both 4-H and FFA, and those networking and connections have really lasted. That I stayed within the state of New Mexico. I met a lot of people who actually were like my leaders and mentors, and now I work with them on more of a personal level and a business level. So it's really kind of neat to see that progress in how you can go from being someone's student to now working with them and organizing different conferences across the state. Um, I was a very active student, but I also I got really good grades, so I worked really hard within the classroom as well, and I think that that has lasted with me forever. My parents always told me, "Do your best. The best is what you can do," and so they instilled in me from a very young age to work hard within the classroom as well. And I use all those skills. I obviously need math skills to make sure that I'm, helping farmers make sure their fields are profitable. I need organization and time management skills, which I learned through my studies to make sure that, um, I'm finishing all my work that I need to do in a timely manner and I'm helping customers effectively. I also need really good writing skills because I do write out a lot of emails, and you have to make sure that you have that business sense of how to communicate effectively and in a really good business classy sort of way. Well, my biggest piece of advice is just to not be afraid to take chances. Taking a chance on something, that might be the biggest thing. I always say, like, when I'm trying to decide on making a decision, I think about what would the worst possible outcome be. A lot of times it's just someone saying no. And is that going to hurt you? Not really. So even if you fail, you can get back up and just keep going and keep trying and keep working hard.